And we are live. It is June 3rd, 2026, 7:09 p.m. Central Time. How are you doing, John?
It's Wednesday, Dave. Did I use the right name? We gotta delete this shit, dude. I just said the wrong name. Dude, delete, start over.
The live stream, and we are live. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026 at 7:10 Central Standard Time. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing good, Jack.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, the squiggly line holdeth up.
Yeah, it's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, because the 4 year cycle is intact. Put it on the monthly chart. When we can see it rejecting up 200 daily average. That's enough of that.
You said you want the monthly?
Yeah, just so we can see the cycle.
Oh no, I broke it again. Refresh, reload, and pick it all over. Oh no, it's on the month. Nice.
I mean, yeah, you got the green arrows as the bottoms and the red arrows the tops. You might as well put that one as the red arrow that we had. We had blue initially because we weren't sure if that would be the top. It was a local top at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, it was the top.
This
So
guy
where some
here.
of the arrows like floated up off the chart.
Oh yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, to me, Jack, the 4 year cycle is obvious. The why of the 4 year cycle, I would suggest anyone watch How the Economic Machine Works by Ray Dalio. Um, there's a little bit of that, a little bit of the having. Um,
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, there's a lot of people who I'm so stoked to see this big red candle. I was getting a little itchy for Bitcoin to start moving down because I didn't like seeing it floating around there in the mid to low 70s for so long. I
well,
was like, come on, it needs to punch through.
the last thing I ever want to do is sell my Bitcoin and then have Bitcoin go up without me.
Right? I mean, I have some. I just
Dude, honestly, I think I'm gonna buy in at the bottom this time. I'm never gonna fucking sell my Bitcoin again. It's such a fucking stressful thing to be buying and selling, trying to time tops and bottoms. It's emotionally stressful. I think that, I mean, Bitcoin has been reducing in volatility, and it's less volatile than a lot of tech stocks now. Um, I don't know. I mean, it still could be worth it to sell the next top and buy the next bottom. I
I
don't know.
mean, I feel like a swing trade of once every 3 or once every 1 year, like that's I think that that's not going to be too much. You know what I mean?
You would think, right? But then I bought in at that green arrow and I just got chopped up. And I sold at 82.
Yeah.
I sold, I mean, I did, I mean, I sold the top at 126 and I bought the green arrow and I sold 82, but it just wasn't clean. Like I hesitated, went back and forth so many times. And you can lose almost 1% every time you flip flop back and forth, depending on where you're trading it.
Hmm.
I just,
Yeah, and
oh,
then you've got
man,
tax implications.
taxable events,
Yeah.
right? It's so much better to just hodl Bitcoin, honestly.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, I agree. I don't think I can resist the urge to take advantage of the cycle though.
yeah, no,
Like
I mean,
I don't need to go in and out. Like I tried my hand at some day trading and got just kind of I completely wrecked my account in under 6 months, and so I was like, okay, day trading's not my thing.
the 4 year cycle has been so exact.
I know. It's
Like, I
it's
don't understand how no, and people like don't get it. Smart people don't get it. People that are into Bitcoin, people that are into TA can't see it.
people that understand Bitcoin, like understand
Yeah,
the power of Bitcoin and its
yeah.
value, they don't understand the 4 year cycle, which is crazy
Speaking
to
of
me.
some of those people, let's call them out. Mark Cuban,
Yeah, you may have seen the thumbnail of the
Michael
video, but in case
Saylor,
you haven't,
uh,
there they are.
and Trump and David Hoffman, who sold all his Ethereum.
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad. I I didn't get any Ethereum tokens
I
into
don't
the.
know if he has Bitcoin. I imagine he has some Bitcoin. I don't
Well,
know.
then that's even more funny.
Yes, he's holding on to his Bitcoin. He's crying because of his losses on his Ethereum. Actually, he bought the bottom on Ethereum back in 2022, so he's doing fine.
Yeah.
Um, he just, I think he's just seeing all the gains in AI stocks, which we definitely do know. So, and dude, I was thinking like the thing is, everybody's on their own journey, and everyone has different financial circumstances. That's another thing I was thinking about. Like, I came up with the idea, oh, why don't we just start each episode talking about if I was day one in
No.
Bitcoin? Well, the
Hmm.
problem is everyone's a different. Some people are 75 years old and are just trying to hang on to retirement, and some people are 20 years old and just starting out in life. Some people are middle aged. Some people already have some money. Some people don't have any money. Some people have high income. Some people low income. Like some people have a lot of kids. Some people have no kids. Some people.
And that's a great time to interject and say that none of that we aren't financial advisors. None of this should be considered financial advice. We're just going over what we would do in certain scenarios and what in fact in some scenarios we are doing. And that's mostly because we enjoyed just the conversation with each other and thought this is a good way to have those conversations in a positive and like helpful format for those who may also be interested in learning more. So that's all this should be considered.
It blows my mind that Michael Saylor doesn't see the 4-year cycle. He was just back when Bitcoin was hitting the 200-day moving average. Michael Saylor was talking about the bottoms in. He's like, the bottom's in at 60, like MicroStrategy's loading up on Bitcoin as usual. Like he did not see this downswing coming, and I don't know how that dude's got billions
See,
of dollars.
he thinks
He's
that's the
focused
case.
on like this is the only chart he needs to look at. This is the only asset he's invested in, and he doesn't understand the 4-year cycle. Like that motherfucker's buying the top, every goddamn top, and selling the bottom. He sold the bottom one in 2022 as well, but he only sold a little bit. He sold like I don't know 800 Bitcoin and or 700 Bitcoin, and then bought 800 or 900 Bitcoin like the next week. And he's just tax loss harvesting, which is what he's doing. And he sold a very small amount. He sold like 2 million Bitcoin
Hmm.
dollars worth of Bitcoin, and he owns like how much does he own? He owns 5% of the supply, so he must own like um $50 billion of Bitcoin, something like $30 billion of Bitcoin, I think.
Yeah, I
So it
mean,
was like one tenth of one.
yeah, it was like nothing. Like it was
Yeah, yeah,
dust.
total dust. It was like 1/10 of 1% of his position. Um, and so it was more kind of uh, he talked about it like he wanted to show people that he could do it or something. I don't know what he was doing. It doesn't really matter.
Inoculating the market, I think he called it.
That's what he said. Yeah, and I think he's just tax loss harvesting a little bit. Is what he's doing. Just buying. Trump is interesting because Trump bought the top, and I don't know if it's Trump or if it's Barron Trump or Eric Trump or Trump Jr. or what's his name, the Tron guy,
Yeah, whatever that guy's name is.
Justin Sun,
Justin Sun.
or whoever's controlling like the Trump Industries crypto ventures or whatever, like World Liberty for Financial or whatever. I don't remember, but somewhere in the Trump sphere, like $500 million of Bitcoin got bought at like 112 million $1,000 Bitcoin or something at the top, and then and they just moved it to Coinbase
Mm-hmm.
last week. So like he's selling, and Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's interesting too, because Mark Cuban knows a lot about crypto. He was even
Mm-hmm.
like programming Solidity, like he was screwing around with that. He was deep into DeFi back in 2020. Like he was doing stuff back in the day with crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been around a couple cycles. I don't understand. Same with Michael Saylor. Like I don't understand how these guys don't see the 4-year cycle. It's right there. Like they must not do any
Well,
research
like
on TA at all.
I would say it like this: if Michael Saylor is just tax loss harvesting, then I would still give him the benefit of the doubt that he does understand the 4 year cycle, because that doesn't necessarily mean you like that doesn't equate to
No,
the
because
other.
he said the bottom was in. Like he was 100% confident that the bottom was in on whatever that little green arrow is in January at 60,000. He thought that was the bottom, and it's not. It's not
Well,
going to be.
so far it is like,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
might not be the cycle bottom. It's a local bottom, right? Like,
right. No, but he thought it was a cycle bottom, and it's like,
and
dude, no, it's not.
and so far he's not been proven wrong.
And
So
well, we'll do an episode in a few weeks.
yeah, I think he will be proven wrong, sure, but he's not yet wrong.
Well, and the thing is, dude, like he
But I'm
had
just saying, like, if that's the case, right? Because he's not wrong yet, like, then
well,
there's a chance
his,
that he does still understand the 4 year cycle, and he's just inoculating the market,
dude,
and all that's just
if you stop
whatever.
giving him the credit for understanding the 4 year cycle, dude had $2.5 billion of USD cash just a few weeks ago, and he blew it at 80,000. He could have waited to the bottom. There's no reason he had to spend that cash right now. He could have waited to the bottom to spend that cash. Like in 2022, he didn't have any cash. But in 2026, he's got cash. He's got STRC has been doing great, bringing in cash, and he could have held on, but he thought he stated the bottom's in, the cycle's over. I'm buying. He bought $2 billion of Bitcoin with his cash because he thought the bottom was in, and he was wrong. And you're saying he's not wrong yet, dude? Come on, he's
Well,
fucking wrong.
I think he will be wrong, but I mean,
Yes,
I'm looking
and
at the
that's what I'm
same
saying.
chart.
Like you're
I'm
throwing
looking
around
at
that kind of cash when you have that much single focus, how can you still be wrong? I don't know. And that just goes to show, like, Michael Saylor is human. I'm human. I make mistakes. Like, all these people are humans making mistakes, except for Trump. He's not human. But, and like, and David Hoffman, he's got some Twitter post or some kind of blog post where he explains why he's selling his Ethereum. And I haven't read it, but I listened to his podcast. And basically, it's just he wants to be invested in other things that go up, like AI stocks. Um, and that's another thing too. Like Bitcoin is already $1 trillion, and gold is 33 trillion. You know, it's funny when I started in crypto, gold was only 12 trillion, and gold has tripled in value since I started investing in crypto. Um, and uh, you know, but like when I started investing in Bitcoin would have only had to be $500,000 per coin to have an equal market cap to gold. Now, Bitcoin can be $1 million per coin and still not equal the market cap of gold. Isn't that
mm-hmm.
crazy?
Yep, a lot of gold out there.
And well, and gold's gone up in price as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I'm saying is gold is most of the time pretty boring asset. And Bitcoin is going to become that way as well once I think it reaches a similar market cap to gold. I don't see any reason for it not to play out that way. Like I really think that when Bitcoin hits 30 trillion, it's gonna slow down to similar to gold. But gold's moving. Like I said, gold's tripled since I've
Yeah,
been watching it. And
it still has some volatility. Like,
you know, again, since fiat has no bottom, gold and Bitcoin have no top,
right.
right? As long as the denominator is in dollars, if the denominator keeps growing, then the price of gold and Bitcoin is going to keep going up. As long as gold and Bitcoin are still used as store value monies, which they currently both are. However, gold more is than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's more used as a speculative trading vehicle because most people don't understand it. And I would say Mark Cuban doesn't understand it in a way. So Mark Cuban understands crypto very well. He understands a lot of things. He understands gold. He understands gold as inflation hedge and all that. But Mark Cuban said something like, "Oh, because Bitcoin's price is going down during the Iran war, therefore
It
Bitcoin."
lost the narrative.
Right. And it's like, well, dude, the price action doesn't change the fundamentals.
Yeah,
The
the
Bitcoin,
narrative the narrative doesn't change the code.
right, exactly. The code is the same. Like just because the price is doing something, and also 4 year cycle, bro. Like the Bitcoin is doing what it's always done price
Yeah.
wise. Like this is, Jack and I, to the viewer, Jack and I came up with this price target on the chart not because of the Iran war, not because of the economy, not because of anything else. This is just what Bitcoin does. You got it on the monthly, or put it on
I
the
do.
yeah, zoom it out a little bit so you can see the 4 year cycle. Like no matter what war is going on or which president is printing however much money, Bitcoin does the 4 year cycle. It's just what it does. And I'm not too worried about the details of what's going on. And honestly, like Bitcoin should be more bullish than ever. Like Iran is accepting Bitcoin for Strait of Hormuz insurance. Um, the president is trying to get Bitcoin strategic reserve for the country. Other countries are stacking Bitcoin. Other companies besides MicroStrategy are stacking Bitcoin. Like um,
No.
it. I mean, Bitcoin is just doing its thing. Just because Bitcoin is going down during the 12-month period where Bitcoin price always goes down doesn't mean it's all of a sudden not a store of value, or it's all of a sudden not a hedge against inflation. It's doing what it always does. I mean, yeah, in the last 6 months, it's been a shitty store of value. Like, zoom out, bro. Like, look at the last 16 years. It's up like 1,000,000% in the last 16 years. I say that's a pretty good store of value. Like, um, and yeah, maybe it's the same as it was in 2021, but it's still up what 4x from um November 2022.
Yeah, probably.
Like that's
You
why
want me to
that's why
measure that?
that's why timing, right? Like, you don't buy the top and sell the bottom. Like that's some rookie shit, right? Like buying the top and selling the bottom. Like it's hilarious to me that Trump is doing that. And it's confusing to me that Cuban's doing that because Cuban's been around for a while. I think Trump and his family just got into crypto.
310.5%.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, like that's pretty good. Like, are there some AI stocks doing better? Yeah, that's why all my money's in AI stocks right now. That's why I sold all my Bitcoin at the top in October. I just did a little quick trade and I sold it at when it hit the daily 200 moving average. Like, um, I mean, I'm not Michael's. Michael Saylor's like Bitcoin's the best asset ever. I'm like, well, okay, dude, then why don't you learn more about it? Like, he knows about the code. He knows about the economics of it, but for some reason he doesn't understand the 4 year price cycle and his
Or he
action
does, and he thinks
and
that
his words.
I think that
No, he doesn't. Hey,
I,
Jack, he does not.
I
He doesn't.
personally think he might, and that he just has a different play. Like his play is to get as much of it as possible because
His hand was
eventually,
forced in the initial cycle, and that he only had liquidity to dilute the shares of MicroStrategy to buy more Bitcoin at the top. That's when MicroStrategy is trading at a 5x premium to its Bitcoin holdings, and he was able to sell shares of MicroStrategy to buy more Bitcoin. And then the bear market hit in 2022, and the value of MicroStrategy the market cap went below the value of its Bitcoin holdings. So he could not issue more shares to buy more Bitcoin. It wouldn't work. So he couldn't buy the bottom. And then he did the same thing all the way up, especially at the top. He was selling all kinds of shares of MicroStrategy to buy more Bitcoin. And then he invented, a few other things like the STRC preferred shares with the 11% dividend. And he's got a few others. He's got a handful of other financial instruments, but the STRC, I think, is the popular one. And that's been providing him cash as we've been beginning the bear market. And we had the first, local bottom at 60 and a little rebound to 82. And that was enough for Michael Saylor to declare the bear market was over. Michael Saylor's words out of Michael Saylor's mouth: "The bear market is over. The bottom is in. The bear market's over. I'm buying." And he blasted all his STRC USD cash into Bitcoin, and now he's underwater bigly. Same thing with Trump blasting the top. I expect Trump to blast top, sell the bottom. I saw that coming a mile away. I'm really happy about it. It's playing out. Um, David Hoffman selling his Ethereum is a big surprise to me. Um, Mark Cuban is a big surprise to me too. I thought Mark Cuban knew what he was doing. He does not. Just, especially the fact that Mark Cuban says, "Oh, Bitcoin price is down, therefore Bitcoin's not doing what it's supposed to do." No, Bitcoin's doing just fine. It's not freezable. It's still not freezable. It's still not seizable. It's still producing more blocks. Anyone can still do a Bitcoin transaction. Nobody's censored, but no government is controlling it. No individual is controlling it. As much as Michael Saylor is trying, he's failing. And he's not trying to control it. He's just trying to. I don't know what the hell Michael Saylor is trying to do. Like, how much Bitcoin is enough Bitcoin? I think he said he wants to get a certain.
He wants to fix the
I think
money, dude.
he wants a million Bitcoin is what Michael Saylor wants.
Yeah, he wants to fix the money.
No, no, maybe.
That's that's what I think he wants to do. I think that's why he wanted to go after the money in the bond market.
Right. Well,
Was
he's
to
definitely doing that. Like, he's definitely opening the bond market value that's in the bond market and creating a connection between the capital in the bond market and the Bitcoin market.
hmm
So he's definitely like accessing pools of capital that would normally be completely disconnected from Bitcoin.
right.
So
And
he's doing that, but the why and the what's, yeah, I mean, maybe he's trying to like um, move the planet away from the dollar and towards Bitcoin. I don't know.
that's kind of what I was thinking. And that is essentially when I say he's trying to fix the money.
And that's
That's
why
what I mean.
I don't
I
really.
believe I believe Bitcoin is the answer to the money problem. And so like I believe that's what Lord Sailor
But
has has
if that
determined
is
as
what he's
well.
trying to do, what always confused me is why is he buying such a high percentage of the Bitcoin supply? Like a million Bitcoin would be 10% of this. No,
Be,
that would be five
because
supply only.
yeah, and that it's just about.
So I guess, yeah, he's almost there. So I guess never mind.
I think
Yeah,
he
that
was.
could be what he's
I
doing.
I
Right.
think he was looking to own as much as Satoshi. Because
Right.
I think that he is kind of on a power trip with the whole thing. Like I think that's the problem with Sailor is his ego. He finally starting to believe the hype about himself being like the next Bitcoin messiah. Like that's what I think. That's why that interview or not that interview, but that video from Coin Bureau on Bitcoin as a religion was hilarious and kind of accurate to a degree. Like you start having these figureheads in the religion, and everybody believes a certain thing about a certain thing, and I don't know. It really does smack of my religious upbringing. The
Right.
way that some people look at deify some of the people in the industry. And I actually like Michael Saylor, but I think everybody, or not everybody, but I think a lot of people in the market kind of look to him as the one who's going to save their bags, and like that's just not
And it,
likely to be the case.
you're right. And I think it's important to remember that we're dealing with computer programs here. And humans, especially with Bitcoin, like that's the whole point of Bitcoin is that humans can't fuck this up. Just like humans can't fuck up gold. Now humans can fuck up gold certificates and they can fuck up banking vaults of gold, and they can they can fuck up IOUs for gold. But the gold itself, you can't destroy it. You can't change it. You can't freeze it and seize it as long as like if Russia has gold in their own country, like we're not freezing and seizing that unless, going to total war. Um, but we were able to freeze and seize Russia's assets that were, in London's banks. In fact, Venezuelan gold was frozen by the Bank of London when we kidnapped Maduro. London, uh, Great Britain had our back and was like, "Oh yeah, he's a bad guy. We're gonna seize his gold that's in our vaults." Like he was storing, Venezuela was storing some of their gold in London's vaults, and that was seized. So
Hmm.
I'm like 99% positive that Maduro and his wife have some private keys to some Bitcoin that they've either written down and stashed somewhere or memorized. And like it's weird, we haven't heard anything about those guys.
Right. Well, it's because there's all sorts of, you
There's
know,
all sorts of other shit going on, but why are we
yeah. Well,
at all about Maduro?
there's a bunch of intelligence work that's going on right now, and
I think they're holding on to their private keys to their Bitcoin. Is what's happening. That's the only thing that makes sense.
yeah,
Um,
there's
but
definitely intelligence agencies that are going out and speaking to the press and being like, "Don't say a fucking word."
so the 4 year cycle is intact. These four famous people are selling. Probably a lot of other people are selling because these guys are selling. And none of these people are my leaders. None of these people are my messiah. I trust in the Bitcoin code and the the way it was written, and it's working just fine. And it's not, and Bitcoin's not the only thing I trust in. I also own gold, and will continue to own gold and Bitcoin for the same reason, is that they're a money that can't be frozen or seized or debased or controlled by a government or controlled by an individual. Both gold and Bitcoin do that. It's just that gold is the physical money that can't go on the internet, and Bitcoin is the internet version of the same thing that doesn't really exist in the physical world. It's only on the internet. So it's kind of cool. It's like
They're
gold is
mirror
only in the
images.
physical world and Bitcoin is only in the internet world.
Hmm.
And I think they both have their place. And they both, I mean, I'm going to
Yeah,
continue.
you can't make a necklace out of Bitcoin.
Nope. Oh, dude, I saw the sweetest gold coin. It looked like like the Bitcoin in our thumbnail. It
Hmm.
looked like one of those things. It was an ounce. It was a troy ounce of pure gold, 9999 fine gold, like 99.99% gold.
That's awesome.
And they were selling it for like it was at a pawn shop,
Hmm.
and they
That's
were
cool.
selling it. It wasn't very close by though. It would have been a drive. Also, I didn't have $4,600, but I would if I did, I would have bought it. Like it was dope, dude. And they were selling it for like $100 more than the value, the melt value of the gold.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it was
awesome.
basically just for the price of the gold. Like
Right.
it was sick, dude. I was like, oh my god, this is
Uh,
amazing. And maybe there's more of those. And it was minted by like a legitimate like gold like foundry.
that's awesome.
I don't remember which one, but it had the brand name of the foundry on it. Like it was like a legit gold foundry. Like it was everything about it was legit, dude. And I was just like, oh, I want this so bad. I probably should have fucking figured out a way to get it. I probably could have brought my other gold to like trade for it or something, but I didn't do it. I should have. Anyway,
Should we
so
move on to Zcash?
yeah. Let's move on to Zcash. So hit up. Yeah, we look in the chart. Chart looks amazing. Like, is that the which chart is
We're on the
that?
monthly. It's the just the Zcash USD.
Okay, so I don't know how far back the coin goes.
Looks
It
like it goes
looks
to
like that's the
2017.
tail end of the bear market of 2018. Is that what that is? Or is that
20
2016?
set. It's 2016 into 2017.
So that's
Yeah,
pretty
October
on right
2016.
away.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. It hit the exchange, but then what's the bottom there?
February 17.
Okay, so that was the bull market, and then so it went up in the bull market, and then there's a weird wick, and
Scam wick.
yeah, it's just total scam wick, and then there's the bear market of 2018, right? How long does that
Yeah.
go for?
Looks like it
What's
goes
the bottom
to
there?
March 20,
March of 2020.
20. Yeah, March of 20. Yep.
Wow, so it went straight down all the way to COVID.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it pumped, had a big pump before that, and then
What's the bottom right? Yeah, before that pump.
right here,
Yeah,
that
December
is
2019.
December of 19. Yeah.
Oh, but it did have a lower low in COVID.
Yeah. And then came
Okay,
down here.
so COVID was the bottom, and then in 2021 it didn't even reach the 2017 level.
I guess I could actually look at this a little closer instead of being way zoomed out.
Yeah, and
Sorry
then
about that.
no, that's okay. So it didn't even go as high in 2021. And then let's compare the current top to the 2017 top. Maybe can you draw a horizontal from the 2017 top?
Yeah.
It's like horizontal ray or whatever. Horizontal line or horizontal ray, either one. Okay, then let's look at where it is now. Oh, that's a bad sign. That just might be resistance, Jack. Just maybe.
I
I
mean,
mean, it looks
I
bullish,
think that
right?
we could probably even do that if you wanted to look at what's real,
The candle bodies,
you
sure.
know. Then you
Well, I mean,
might give us a little different look
we
at it.
have it on monthly, right? Like a
Yeah.
monthly wick is still like a couple weeks. Like that's not like an instant, that's legitimate price action. So I think that's going to be. I think the top, the wick top of the 2017 bull run is going to be resistance, and I think it's going to crash down from there because we're in a Bitcoin bear market. Um, Zcash is a fork of Bitcoin. They forked the code base and added zero knowledge proofs for privacy, which is amazing. The technology is great. I like everything about Zcash, but pull up your favorite AI chat, like chat GPT or whatever you use,
Okay.
and type in how many full nodes does Zcash have? I already know the answer, but prepare to be disappointed. That is a whole different answer than what it gave me. What the hell? 1,700 nodes.
Reachable as US knows worldwide. March 2026 report cited 1743 nodes with about 56 located in the United 56% in the United States. Okay.
Wait a minute. Zcash infrastructure operators often use a stricter definition of good full nodes. Yeah, the fully synced nodes
Okay.
was 102. That's really bad. 1,700 is like doable, but and the node count could always be increased, right? You just need to plug in a computer, download Zcash software, and run it, right? Um, in the state that Zcash is in, it's highly vulnerable to attack right now. Um, so I mean, I'm not jumping on this train right now. Like the price, I think is near a local top. Like I think that blue line is going to be a local top. I think that the market cap is it's not the market cap, but just seeing the low number of nodes, full nodes, it's it's not going to be resilient to attack. The Zcash network is not going to be resilient to attack yet. Now it's a fork of Bitcoin, so as long as you start having more full nodes, in fact, go back to ChatGPT, ask it how many full nodes Bitcoin has, just so you can compare it.
They say, for comparison, Bitcoin has tens of thousands of reachable nodes depending on the measurement methodology.
Right.
So Zcash is
So
generally considered much less decentralized.
right. So Zcash needs to get its shit together, but if it does, and then it will be a contender for Bitcoin, I think. because I think that the privacy works well on it. Like it's true privacy. It's encrypted, zero knowledge proof privacy. It's legit privacy. Unlike Monero, Monero's just kind of got like a built-in like tornado cache or like a mixer where it like the ring signatures in Monero like create decoy transactions along with every single real transaction. But if you have a powerful enough AI or computer, you can unravel it and figure out which ones are the decoys, which ones are real. Whereas Zcash, you don't ever, you can't, I mean, unless you can break the encryption, which you can't. Um,
Yeah, not until the
Not
those
until quantum, right?
yeah, not
So
until
quantum,
Q day.
and even with quantum, like it would probably you'd probably only be able to crack one transaction at a time. Like it would probably cost more money to crack a train. Who knows? Like that's future shit. Like that, and Zcash can probably be quantum proofed and all that. Like it's
It's
fine. But
future me problems.
like yeah, I feel like Zcash is a potential. There's a lot of hype right now around Hyperliquid, which is garbage because it's centralized, in my opinion. But it is an active. It has good user interface. It's a really good way to perp trade crypto, and people like Hyperliquid and the tokenomics of it are good because the transaction fees go to buying back the token, which increases the token price. All that's good. And Near is another one. It's kind of like Solana, but
Yeah.
only has
Well,
like
so
under.
wait, sorry, go ahead. I was going
Sorry.
to ask you about the Zcash USD to BTC USD chart.
Yeah, we can look at that. I mean, you put it on the monthly,
Oh, I thought it was a monthly. It is not.
and I think it might only go back to 2021 with this version of Zcash. This might be the Coinbase instead of the Kraken. The Kraken goes back farther,
Hmm.
but it's not really. I mean, it's been outperforming Bitcoin since 2021, but it has not been outperforming Bitcoin since 2017. If this chart went further back, it would look worse. Bitcoin's been outperforming Zcash since 2017. Of course, it has. Um, Zcash needs more nodes. It needs more full nodes. It needs more synced full nodes. Probably 10,000, I would guess, to start competing with Bitcoin. I mean, Zcash is a tough hill to climb. Bitcoin's a beast.
Yep. Yep. Well, I mean, I don't know. There might be it's not like in the end there can be only one.
Well, these other proof of work chains have been getting attacked, dude. Monero got attacked. What was the other one? Litecoin got attacked. Dogecoin has been attacked in the past. I mean, the proof of work chains compete with Bitcoin on multiple levels. They compete for electricity. They compete for um, popularity. And they compete for
Yeah.
hash
And
rate. They compete for
I would argue though that
full nodes.
that specifically the privacy coins and Zcash in particular, uh, it's not necessarily competing with Bitcoin um, because it offers something Bitcoin's not.
Yeah, but Zcash competes with Bitcoin because it's a proof of work fork of Bitcoin,
You
as if
can I
other
hear
ones are
that
not.
I hear you on that argument. And in that case it's definitely going to lose. But what I'm saying is that it's not like Highlander, right? Where Bitcoin eventually decapitates Zcash and takes all of its souls.
Well, and if
Like it instead it's like I can see in my mind, right? And flawed as that may be, I can see a world in which people rotate between Zcash and Bitcoin when they need to make private transactions.
yes, and so you're talking about I'm talking about Zcash competing with Bitcoin as like a store of value
Hmm.
with extra feature of privacy. You're talking about Zcash competing with other privacy coins. And
Right.
I would say that's a much worse fight for Zcash has a better chance of fighting Bitcoin than it does of fighting Solana. Solana has privacy options now.
Oh, it does. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like if you make
Interesting.
a transaction in a Soulflare wallet, it asks you, do you want this transaction to be private? And it costs you, 0.00001 Sol to make it private or something. And I don't know how it works. I haven't researched it yet.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. That's news to me. Cool.
Yeah, like Zcash, there's a lot of privacy coins, and
I'm
uh,
even more bullish on Solana then.
Yeah, I mean Solana's pretty dope. I think Solana has a problem where their node count keeps going down. Like they're down to like
Interesting.
700 nodes now, full nodes on Solana, and because it's so expensive to run the node, people are always talking about, oh, the computers are expensive. Like, dude, computers like the smallest expense of running a Solana validator. The biggest expense is the voting. You have to vote on there's millions of transactions. Um, well, there's at least hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. I don't know how many it can do. I mean, there's Fire Dancer and Alpencore or Alpenglow or whatever. I mean, Solana keeps getting faster and faster, and the validators have to vote on consensus of the transactions, and it costs the validators money. They have to pay Solana to vote on the blocks, to validate the blocks, and it costs like $100,000 a year to run a validator just for the voting.
Hmm.
And the problem is you got these big validators that are offering 0% delegation. So if I want to stake Solana, I can get the full yield on my Solana tokens as if I was running a validator, but I don't even have to run the validator. I don't have any of the expenses of running a validator. I can just put it with the Helium validator or put it with any of the other validators that run 0% commissions. And then, you know, maybe there's Joe Average who, bought a bunch of Solana back in 2022 or 2020 and, managed to get a big enough pile of Solana to run a validator and decided to buy a nice computer or is renting something from Amazon, AWS or whatever, and is running a validator, but he's like scratching his head, like paying all this money, and like if he puts on a 5% commission or whatever to try to get some money from his delegators, they're just going to leave and go to a 0% node. And then Joe Average is going to be like, you know what, screw this whole thing. I'm just gonna withdraw everything, and then I can stake my Solana with somebody else for free. Why am I bothering to run a validator when I can make this exact same amount of money staking with somebody else and not have any of the expenses? And that's what people are doing. So the validator count was 2,700. Now it's 700. Like Solana is centralizing, which Lynn Olden in Broken Money argued that that's the problem for every proof of stake chain, and she might be right. The only way I see out of that for Solana is to put a mandatory minimum on the commissions, like make a minimum because right now, 0% minimum is a race to the bottom, and the only people that can compete are people that are holding validators for other reasons. Like maybe PayPal or Visa would hold a Solana validator so they can validate the chain because they're doing billions of dollars of stablecoin transactions every day, and they
Right.
just want to make sure it's valid. So they would run a validator at a loss just to make sure that it was valid. But the average person's not going to do that. Um, so, which hurts decentralization. It makes it more centralized.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me,
Well, you can. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what so right now, the only crypto that really keeps me excited is Bitcoin.
Well, it's a bear market, and I feel like that's kind of how it's going to go in the bear
Yeah, and
market
I and
too.
I and I sold almost all my Bitcoin too. Like I'm waiting for the bottom to buy
Yeah,
back in, but like I'm
me
bullish.
too.
And when I buy back in, I'm just going to buy Bitcoin.
Because why
Like
not?
I don't see any reason to mess around. I mean, everything's got flaws, and the only thing that, as flawed as Bitcoin is, it's still doing its job of being digital internet gold,
Mm-hmm.
the unfreezable, unseizable, undebasable money that gold is. Where that gold is in the physical world, Bitcoin is doing that in the internet online world.
That's correct. And I think that's probably a good place for us to leave it off. It's been 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's I gotta eat dinner.
Yeah, me too. Well, hey man, it was a good talk. Thanks for chatting with me. It's good to check in on the charts and talk about what the haps on the what's going on in the day and age.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll catch up again soon.